Hey Apprentice Squad, do you want one technique that will help you take your cosplay game to the next level and get awesome looks like this? Or this? Simply and easily? Well, you're in luck. In today's Apprenti-clip, I'll be showing you the simple process behind getting these advanced level looks. Stay tuned. This advanced technique is very simple, but it will exponentially up your cosplay game so that you can confidently create spot-on cosplays that'll impress your friends and stand out online or on the con floor. This technique is groove cuts. With that, let's jump in and walk through the process. Alright, well here we have an example of the groove cut here on this Black Panther helmet. You can see that nice little ridgeline. It continues back behind here as well. And then also too, we have an example. This is actually a combination of underscoring. If you haven't seen our video on underscores and that technique, check it out. But this is a combination of underscoring and groove cuts. You can see here on the back. So let's dive in and let's talk about the groove cuts and how to make it work. All right, so there's two main types of groove cuts. Groove cuts and under groove cuts. Basically all that is just depending on whether the groove is on the top of your piece of foam or on the underside of your foam. So step one is knowing whether you're going to be doing a groove or an under groove. The next thing you want to do is get your foam picked out that you're going to be doing this on. I highly recommend our WTF What the Foam. It's going to give you the cleanest groove cuts and the cleanest edges, but the higher quality foam you go with, the easier it's going to be for you to get a good clean look. Alright, so we're going to be doing an under groove. So let's flip this thing over. Now, depending on the build you're doing, I'm going to just make up something here. We're going to do a little angle like that, okay, on the underside here. But depending on the cosplay you're doing, that'll determine what your lines look like and where they go. But you'll want to draw them on the back of your foam, a nice line as a guide. The next step is you're going to want to make sure that you have a good, sharp blade. So if you haven't seen my video on making one blade last forever, check that out. This is the Cosplay Apprentice dope knife. I love these things. I've been using the same blade for like a year already on this one, and it just keeps going. I haven't had to replace it, even though it came with 5 blades in the set. So get yourself a honing tool. Check out our sharpening, how to use one blade forever video on that and how to keep it nice and sharp. So what you're going to do, this line marks the center of your groove, okay? So you're going to go to either side of the groove or either side of the line to cut your groove. Now, you're going to want to check out our bevel cutting video because that's going to help you to get the right hand grip to do this. But essentially what you're going to do from here is you're going to take this piece and you're going to just start right here on the edge. You don't want to cut all the way through the foam. That's going to be one of the trickiest parts of this process, is making sure you don't cut all the way through. But you do want to cut down to where you have about 2 millimeters left of the foam. If you're using a 4 millimeter foam, you want to cut down 2 millimeters so that you have 2 millimeters left on the bottom. If you're doing a 6 millimeter foam, you can cut down 4 millimeters into the foam for that groove and leaving yourself with 2 millimeters at the end. And continues up from there. If you're doing 8 millimeter, you can cut 6 millimeters. You just want to give yourself that 2 millimeter gap at the end. And that's what I find to be the best to keep your foam's integrity, but also get the sharpest, cleanest line on the back sides. So I'm going to get this. So on the 4 millimeter, 2 millimeters is about halfway. I'm going to kind of line that up. And then I'm just going to do a bevel cut, cutting towards that center line, okay? So then I get to this corner. I'm going to rotate and keep going, and I'm just trying to maintain about an even distance away from the line on either side. And so if you're right-handed, I like to do this. I start on the right side of the line and just go all the way through along that line, and then I'll flip it over completely, and you guys can do the reverse for this if you're left-handed. Flip it over completely and just do the same thing in the reverse. I always like pulling towards me. That seems to be the best way to get this to be nice and smooth and clean. Now sometimes you may need to go back in and just kind of run it through one more time just to make sure you got your cut that met up in the middle. And so we got a little piece there just to finish up. And voila, there you go. So that gives you a nice little groove there. Now what you do is you put your contact cement inside this groove right here, and then once it's set up and ready, you can glue that contact cement together, and then it creates that really nice bent metal look on the other side. Now, like I said in this example here, this is a combination of groove cuts and underscoring. So you would use this underscoring technique, check out that video, to kind of press these up, and then you do a groove cut to get these sharp angles that come along that. So yeah, you can use contact cement, hot glue to be able to glue these together. Contact cement will usually get kind of that crisper line or seam together there for you, but sometimes depending on what it is you're doing, hot glue, you can just press this together and then just run the bead of hot glue along it, and that will work great as well. So there you go, you get this nice, awesome, clean, sharp line with the groove cuts. Hopefully that was helpful for you. Let's just do a quick recap. So you have two different types of groove cuts, the grooves and undergrooves. That's just whether it's on the top of your foam or on the bottom, underside. Then an important factor is the EVA foam you're using. Floor mats aren't going to be as friendly to you for this technique compared to going with a higher quality foam. Once again, I recommend our WTF What the Foam by Cosplay Apprentice. It's going to be super durable, super great for getting nice clean bevels and groove cuts, and any cuts for that matter. So highly recommend that. Then you're going to draw your line where you need it to be, make sure your blade is sharp, and then use that groove cut technique with the bevel cutting hand position, and just pull through on either side of your line. So hopefully that was helpful for you. If it was, please let me know in the comments below how it helped you and if you use it on a project, and share it with a friend that could use it. With that, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cosplay on, my friends.